Some major breaking news here. The United States Supreme Court has just blocked the Trump administration from deporting migrants in the state of Texas under the 1798 Alien and Enemies Act. Of course, this comes after the ACLU essentially sued to block this from happening, warning that hundreds of Venezuelans were going to be deported immediately in the United States, essentially getting rid of the due process situation where essentially you're supposed to have time to do a hearing and to appeal. None of that was happening here. The Trump administration was just ready to send them out the country. The Supreme Court has blocked that in Texas. So this major news here happening as of course we're following the Kilmar Garcia case. There was another teen that was sent to El Salvador, to that mass prison there. There, of course, have been other cases of the Trump administration's federal agents literally kidnapping people off the street, including two people that we're going to be covering in a special report on the Jeremiah Patterson Show tomorrow and, of course, later in the week. So tomorrow's special report actually is going to be about what's been happening with mass deportation. Of course, the Kilmar Garcia case, but also what's been happening since Donald Trump has taken office. And I'm going to be joined in this report by a reporter from ProPublica, an investigative journalist called Nicole Foy, essentially to talk about everything that's been happening here. So that's going to be tomorrow on the Jeremiah Patterson Show on my YouTube channel. That's why I'm still up so late. But yeah, that just dropped. The Supreme Court blocking the Trump administration from deporting essentially migrants in Texas under that 1798 Alien and Enemies Act, which gives the president the authority to deport migrants in this country in times of peace and in times of war. But the way that Trump is using it is it's not like it hasn't been used that way before, because there is historical context for us. You know, President Dwight D. Eisenhower did it back in Operation Wetback in the 1950s. You know, President Herbert Hoover did it back in the late 1920s to the early 1930s. Mass deportation has happened on this scale before, but we're seeing this administration screw up in a lot of forms, and they're also defying the orders of the federal courts and the U.S. Supreme Court. So follow here on the Jeremiah Patterson Show. We're going to continue to cover this as this plays out. Lots of implications here. Be sure to follow us on Substack at TGAPS News. You can also check us out on Blue Sky at TGAPS News as well. And once again, you don't want to miss that special report that comes out later today, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time on our YouTube channel, The Jeremiah Patterson Show.